In this highlights episode, we gain insights from diverse voices in the creator economy, from established artists pivoting to new mediums to niche content creators carving out their own space. These stories highlight the varied paths to success in the social media world. Here are some of my highlights from my interview with Iggy Azalea, the Grammy-nominated Australian rapper and entrepreneur. Iggy discusses two of her latest ventures, Dreamvault, a crowdfunding platform for creators and dreamers, and Mother, a meme coin project in the crypto space.
Honestly, Dreamvault is a website. Well, it's a platform really that I created that I think my goal is just for anybody that has a dream. It's a place where they can try to achieve it and create community to help them achieve whatever it is that their goal is. Dreams don't happen solo, they take community. And I just really wanted to create a platform where you could harness that specifically for creators, especially in, the place that we're in now, where I think that we do have we have platforms and access to fan bases, but it may be hard for somebody to organize them or to know how to go about that. So I just wanted to simplify that for people.
And are there particular creators that you're targeting at the start for the launch?
Honestly, the scope is broad and it's been purposely broad. I really want to not just focus on a particular type of person because my, kind of ethos is everybody has a dream, right?
Can you give us an overview of what Mother is and what inspired you to create it?
Mother is a meme coin, essentially. It's a meme coin project in the crypto space. It's a Solana project. And Mother is a meme token. And it's a community of people where what I think our ethos is that we're here to disrupt and kind of create a bit of chaos and fun. Community is the number one driver of all of these projects in the crypto community. And it's just being dumped in the deep end of it has given me you could never write this down on paper and truly understand that.
Celebrity involvement in crypto can be a bit of a double-edged sword. How have you found that? What's your view on that?
I kind of feel like I might be one of the only people that have actually come in and do it properly so far. And I think it's really unfortunate, to be honest with you, because I think that there are a lot of ways other celebrities could come in and give real utility to their coin and have a project that's lasting and valuable to them in ways that aren't even necessarily directly monetary revenues.
Do you have any words of wisdom or advice for emerging creators as they're thinking about growing a career?
I would just say keep it as authentic as you can. That's really all that it is. I think we all have an idea of what we think a creator should or shouldn't do or what they are or how they're perceived. And when you get wrapped up into the idea of that, you're just going to mess it up for yourself.
In this clip, we're joined by Megan Lightcap from Slow Ventures and the Creator Fund. Megan discusses their unique approach to investing in creators and explains how they provide capital to help individuals build their brand and create long-term value.
So Slow Ventures is a seed stage generalist venture fund, originally based out of San Francisco, although now we have presence in SF, New York, and Boston. So we kind of invest across industries. So everything from healthcare to fintech to SaaS, enterprise, crypto. And one of the more recent strategies, which we can get into kind of where my focus is in backing creators and individuals.
Can you sort of explain the different businesses that you're supporting with this? And you mentioned the products and different and content. How do you think about that at the Creator Fund?
We kind of observed, the high level thesis is really that we observed this shift in power or influence, whatever you want to call it, away from brands and institutions towards the individual. I mean, even in my own personal consumer behavior, right? I'm way more likely to convert on a product if it's recommended by someone that I deeply trust in a specific category versus, some no-name brand that I see an Instagram ad for that I have no connection with. I kind of think about creators on a spectrum where I think there's a certain flavor of creator that's really in the attention game. And these are almost like modern day celebrities where they kind of live and die by people just having eyeballs on them, right? And so they're constantly needing to be in front of the camera. In many instances, you're not entirely sure what they're known for, which is neither good or bad. It's just kind of how they came to be and came to get notoriety. And then on the other side of the spectrum, I think you see some creators that are almost like experts in a niche or field. We'll invest anywhere from, call it $500,000 up to $2 million on the high end. If a creator needs more capital, we can build a syndicate and bring in other investors around the table. And the investment is into a holdco, which basically sits kind of on top of all of their different revenue streams or one of our creators that we've backed, that we've talked about publicly, is a YouTuber named Marina Mogilko. She sits out in San Francisco, and her niche, if you will, is in and around language learning. So she immigrated from Russia to the United States, like decided to document her journey of applying to a startup accelerator, what it was like to apply to business school in the United States.
And do you have sort of an active role in the investment once you've made that, or is it more of a passive role that you take on?
Yeah, so it's extremely passive in the sense that we have no creative control or direction. There are no milestones. They could do whatever they want with the capital. No board meetings, no check-ins, no, like, they are off to the races, going to do the thing that they were, put on this earth to do. That being said, in the same way that we work with our seed founders, we want to be helpful. We want to be advisors. I do think, and I know Sam Lesson, who's a GP here at Slow, definitely believes this, in that crypto could present an interesting liquidity opportunity for creators where, crypto is useful in bringing liquidity to illiquid assets. And so could there be a world where creators could sell a share or a slice of whatever they're doing to super fans, enabled by crypto? Maybe. All the graduates of HBS and Stanford Business School who want to go, be a GM at Uber, it's like, forget that. Go go work with, the top YouTubers and go help them build a massive empire. Like, that sounds so much more fun. Way more upside for you. So we need to figure out collectively how to make that happen.
In this clip, we're featuring highlights from my conversation with Alexis Nikole, known online as the Black Forager. Alexis is a passionate advocate for connecting with nature through foraging and has built a significant following on social media by sharing her adventures. Alexis discusses the origins of her Black Forager persona, her transition to becoming a full-time creator, and her exciting new collaboration with eco-friendly brand Blueland.
And so I started an Instagram page, and when I was choosing the handle for it, one thing that I realized and recognized out of all of the foragers that I was following at the time is that no one looked like me. And there's a very long and very storied history of Black folks here in the US foraging and our relationship with wild spaces and wild food. So back before everything was vertical video and when a lot of things were just beautiful still life photos, Instagram was still for pictures, I wanted people to know, regardless of whether they could see me in the photo or not, that it was coming from a woman of color. And so that's why I chose the handle. And as for the persona, that's just me.
And this sort of content style being very fun and informative, like, how did you develop that?
So for a couple of years, I was managing social media for brands. And you get a really good handle on people's attention span, the type of content that people enjoy engaging with, the type of content people will stay to the end for, and got to take a lot of those learnings and take what honestly is usually the hardest part out of it, which is trying to sell people something. And even when I was doing branded content, I found that as long as there was some sort of educational aspect, usually something both educational and entertaining, that people would be really excited to consume that media, regardless of whether it was like, also trying to sell them a bark box or not.
Across this journey, you went from working and being a creator to then leaving and becoming a full-time creator. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Oh, it was very scary, and I dragged my heels about it for a good long time. My partner started telling me a year before I finally put in my notice that essentially, hey, you're working 2 full-time, 40 plus an hour a week jobs. And I was very nervous about that happening to me. So I figured, why not still have my nice, stable job with my wonderful coworkers and my stable paycheck and my health insurance. But about a year after trying to really balance the two full time, and by that time I was traveling for both jobs, I was giving talks for both jobs, and it kind of felt like I was splitting my brain into. I finally did go ahead and put in my month's notice because I wanted to help with hiring my replacement. And when I tell you, the day after I put in my notice, I signed my cookbook deal.
So I'm really excited to talk to you about this new Blue Land collection. Can you tell us more about it?
Okay, so Blue Land is this super cool company that is focused on household essentials, your hand soaps, your cleaning detergents, but taking a lot of the water out of the shipping process for things like soaps. Water is probably the most heavy part of that shipping process. They're very environmentally focused, which when I first found out about them, I think is what drew me to the company. I also, being a woman of color, love that they are a woman of color led company that's really making a splash, like a legitimate splash, not a greenwashed one, within the realm of making these essentials that everyone kind of needs for their house more friendly to the environment. A lot of what I talk about is environmental justice and helping people's food sourcing be more environmentally friendly, closer to home, having people take a bigger role in the way that they interact with the globe on a day-to-day basis through the green spaces immediately around them. And because of that, a lot of brands don't necessarily make sense for me personally to want to work with. But with Blue Land, it was just like a no-brainer. I am so proud of this collection.
It sounds like the perfect fit. And what
Yeah,
about
it really was.
the creative process? Like, how were you involved in that? And what about the scents that have been chosen?
I was elated at how hands-on I got to be during the creative process. Maybe even too much so. I suggested so many different scents, just things that really stand out to me as a forager and as a lover of plants throughout the season that I think people would recognize if they smelled them, but maybe have never taken the time to kind of chase down where those smells are coming from. So the scents that we ended up going with are beach rose, which are these insanely fragrant roses that love to grow along our seashores, even along the Great Lakes, you'll find them a lot. And if you think of the most wonderful rose you've ever smelled, it's kind of like that, but dialed up to 11.
Well,
And you also get that brininess of being really close to the ocean that mixes and mingles with it too. And
what are your long-term goals for the Black Forager and the impact that you want to have?
I mean, one of the things that I was hoping to do, which it's wild to me seeing people telling me that that's happening, is just having people being more excited about the green spaces around them, regardless of whether you live in a city. I mean, I live in downtown Columbus, Ohio, and I still have access to so many cool plants around me. Or if you live in the woods, or if you live in suburbia, like there are special things about everyone's surroundings. If you just pause for a second and look a little bit harder than we've all kind of been conditioned to do. You know, a lot of times you just see the little grassy knoll between the street and the sidewalk, and you're like, oh, okay, little grass patch. And then you look close and you're like, oh no, there's clovers, there's wood sorrel, there's different grasses.
Can you just share any advice you have for aspiring creators that you've picked up on your way as a creator yourself?
Absolutely. I know that it can often seem trite, but chase the things that are chase the things that are bringing you the most giddy joy. If you find yourself like giggling to yourself or smiling to yourself while you are working on a piece of content, or while you're working on a script, or while you're working on a piece of art. That's what we have to be chasing. People feel that when they interact with that content once you let it out into the world. If things are feeling hard, if things are feeling heavy, if you feel like you are hitting a wall, it might be time to take a pivot and take a step back and chase the things that you have fun doing for a little bit and folding that into your content.
In this clip, we're diving into the world of Minecraft content creation with Melvin Hedlund, the young CEO of Senior Studios. Melvin's company manages a team of over 500 freelancers who create custom Minecraft environments for some of the biggest names in content creation. In this clip, we'll explore the scale of the Minecraft industry, how creators and brands can leverage custom experiences, and the impressive growth of Senior Studios. Can you tell everybody listening, who are Senior Studios and what do you do?
Yeah, of course. Senior Studios is basically a gaming service provider that works within Minecraft. We basically specialize in creating immersive experience for videos, events, and bringing brands into Minecraft. And it has basically grown a lot to become the world's biggest Minecraft service provider. We at the moment work with some of the biggest content creators and networks in Minecraft.
Yeah, and how long does it take to make one of these things?
It also really depends on what the creator is asking for, but a video with custom builds and mods usually takes anywhere from a week to 3 weeks, I would say. The sort of price that we charge for a full-on video where it is with custom builds, custom characters, mods, and all that usually goes for above $1,000. But we also sort of work with creators that just need, for example, a build. And that is obviously then a lot cheaper. So Minecraft is basically the best-selling video game in history. And stats from 2021, I believe, said that they had 140 million monthly active users. And I think it was over 200 billion views on YouTube in 2020. So it really puts it to perspective how big Minecraft is. It sort of started when I was just 14, and I basically was forced to create a team because when I was just a builder myself, I basically got too many commissions that I couldn't handle myself. So that sort of led to me creating a team and invited more builders to sort of handle the commissions I couldn't handle. So that basically led to the team we have today, because we grew as a build team, but after a couple of months, we sort of started to offer more services and have since basically expanded to offer everything that anyone would ever need within Minecraft. Yeah, my big goal is actually to be sort of the world's biggest gaming service provider. So I want to be the go-to company for anything related to gaming. So, and in order to become that, I would need to step into other games as well. And I actually think the next big step for us to do would be to enter Roblox as our next game to sort of provide our value in the community. I think the biggest reason of what people can learn from our success is that we focus on providing as much value as possible. And we have basically found a niche where our product is needed, and it really has a good impact and good reasons to use our products and services. And I really think that it's a rule to follow for everything you do, that you focus on offering the best and the rest will naturally follow.
Thank you for listening. Please hit subscribe to hear from the pioneers shaping the creator economy.